Hey everybody, it's Shaw Blackburn, the LoonWitch. I wanted to talk to you today about the healing process. A lot of times people will call and they'll say they want to come in for a healing, they want to make an appointment for a healing, which is great. And I love and I'm so honored to be able to do healings with people. And I often say with people instead of for people. The reason for that is when you get a holistic healing, an energy healing, this is not Western medicine. This is not here, take this pill and it's gonna reduce your symptoms, minimize your symptoms, um, or correct the problem. And let's face it, when any type of healing, whether it's an energy healing or Western medicine, you don't get your issue or your problem completely resolved, right? I use myself as an example. I'm a diabetic. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I've been a diabetic since I was 37. I was diagnosed. That doesn't mean I wasn't diabetic before that. It just means that nobody knew. But there were certain things going on in my body that alerted the doctors that maybe they needed to start testing. And I went from, we didn't even have the thought that I might be pre-diabetic. It was just all of a sudden 0 to you're a type 2 diabetic and here's a ton of medication that you need to be on. So now at almost 54 years old, I'm still a type 2 diabetic, right? I've not been able to eradicate the disease in spite of the fact that I pretty much watch what I eat. I do get a little bit of exercise every day, but I also currently regulate my body with insulin. And while my blood sugar readings are always within the target range, I'm still considered a diabetic, right? So I have to be on insulin to regulate my blood sugar in my body. But that's okay because that's how that healing, that medical healing, is working for me. Now, on the flip side of that, there are other things that I do to help treat, cope, and deal with my being a diabetic, right? So one of the things that I do is I watch my dietary intake. Another thing that I do is I try to make sure that I walk. And I probably walk close to a mile a day, which is really not enough. But, we got to work. And working from home, everything is much more conveniently located to me, so I walk less. And it is what it is. I need to be more disciplined to get myself out there and walk more. But let's talk about the idea of healing, okay? When you want to get a healing, when you desire to get a healing, what is your mindset? Is your mindset going into this process that whatever issue, concern, worry, problem, physical, mental, emotional thing that's going on, is your mindset that this is going to be completely removed from your life with just the hands-on, the prayer, the acupuncture needles, the crystals, the tuning forks, the singing bowls, the chanting, the the pills, the insulin, the shots, etc., etc. Is that your thought process that you're just going to go in and boom, you didn't even get to see me snap my fingers, boom, is going to be completely eradicated from your life? And if that's the case, then I hope that you will learn to adjust your thought process, because a healing takes time, takes work, takes energy, takes effort on everybody's part. If it's a healing through medical means, it means that you need to adjust a lot of things in your lifestyle, and you need to be, as the patient, you need to be vigilant about when you take a medication, how are you reacting to that medication? How do you feel when you take that medication, right? If it doesn't make you feel good, or if you feel like things are not in harmony, then you need to go back to the doctor. As many times as it takes, you need to open up and talk about it. But a lot of times, our healing needs, it's not just about the pill, the insulin, the shot, the injection, etc., right? It's about our thought process, and it's about our willingness to work and partner with the doctor. And let's also talk about when you're working with a holistic practitioner, a Reiki healer, an energy medicine practitioner, a naturopathy doctor, an herbalist, a reflexologist, a massage therapist. All of those people are working within your energy field. Obviously, the massage therapist is working within your physical body as well, much like a physical therapist may, manipulating the body to cause relaxation, to, you know, unknot the knots, if you will, untie the knots. And it takes a lot of study, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of work to become any type of healer. I wouldn't discount any form of healing, whether it's medicine, Western medicine, Eastern philosophy, prayer, circles, drumming, crystal healing. I myself am a Reiki practitioner, I'm a Reiki master teacher, and I also heal with crystals, and I also heal with shamanic healing techniques. I'm certified in acupressure. I'm certified in reflexology. I am an ordained minister through a couple of those online organizations. So with Open Ministries and with the Universal Life Church. Wow, it's been so long since I've been on their website, totally forgot. The reason I got those minister credentials was to be able to better serve my clients going into the hospitals and things like that. You need to have special credentials if you're not immediate family. And if someone says that I'm their clergy person, I want to be able to go in and help them, whether it's just talking, holding their hand, giving them some Reiki, reading them a story. It doesn't matter. It's the comfort of being present with that person. And I'm grateful that there are places where you can become a minister for those type of purposes. So that being said, a while ago, and as you can see the window behind me, it's now nighttime. So healing, like this video, takes a lot of work. And a while ago I had said, I hope that you would adjust your thought process. If you are looking for that quick fix, that just give me a pill and make everything go away, then healing may not happen for you. It certainly won't happen the way that you want it to, because there is very rarely, I won't say it's impossible, but it's certainly very rarely when a true miraculous healing takes place and a person comes in, gets one little pill or one shot, and boom, they're perfectly healed and off on their way and everything is wonderful. And the same thing with alternative healing or holistic healing. Very rarely does somebody come in, have a Reiki treatment, jump off the table and say, huzzah, I am healed. It takes time, it takes work. If you're going for a healing, go with an open mind, go with an open heart. Whether you're going to a doctor, a medical doctor, or if you're going to alternative healing, doesn't matter. Go with an open heart and an open mind. Do your research. If a medical doctor is describing a dis-ease to you or something else to you that they feel based on your symptoms, or maybe based on some blood tests and your symptoms that you are suffering with or experiencing, then do your research. Don't just jump in and say, okay, I'll take these 5 pills a day and I'll be fine, right? I'll be back to normal soon, won't I? When these pills are up, I'll be perfectly healed? Probably not, unless you are truly ready to accept the healing. And healing must be on all levels of our existence. It must be on the physical level. It must be on the emotional level. It must be on the mental level, and it must be on the spiritual level. If you're not open to receiving healing on all those levels, you may and most likely will struggle to accomplish your healing goal. If your healing goal is to get back to your 18-year-old weight, flexibility, and physical stamina when you're 70, I gotta tell you, it's not gonna happen. Your physical body is not meant to be that way. Unless you're Jack LaLanne, perhaps, I don't know. But you take my meaning. Our physical bodies, they're meant to age. They're meant to wear out. They're meant to run down. Nobody likes it. I don't like it. And we recount again and again the physical trauma that our body has suffered. Now, how can you avoid those things? Well, there's no real way to avoid them forever. And please keep in mind that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I've never studied to be a medical doctor. I am a holistic healer. I work with people on an energetic and spiritual level. I give support. I give counsel. I give advice. I don't give prescriptions. I will pass you on to people that I know who are in the medical profession, or to other people that I know that are in other healing methodologies that I feel are going to help you. But you got to be ready. You got to be willing. You have to be willing, and you have to be ready. When I first was diagnosed with diabetes, I was very upset. I was very annoyed. I was very mad. All those things. But I was also very overweight and depressed and lethargic and having all kinds of physical issues with my body and emotional issues with myself. So when I got the diagnosis, I almost foolishly thought, my doctor was so optimistic, that within a year I would be able to get to a place where my A1C, which is your long-acting blood glucose level, would be within a normal range, and then I would come off of all this medication that they had given me and everything would be great. That did not happen because, as you heard in the beginning of this video, I was 37 when I was diagnosed. I am almost 54 and I am still a type 2 diabetic. However, I am 110 pounds lighter than I used to be. I continue to pay attention to what I'm doing. Do I always take the best care of myself? No, I'm a human being on planet Earth. So the answer is, you know what? Sometimes I want the Oreos. Sometimes I just want ice cream. And I don't care. I don't care that it's not healthy for me. I don't care that I'm going to gain 5 pounds from eating ice cream every day for a week. I want it, so I'm going to do it. And I feel like that's a very typical mentality that all of us have today. I want it, so I'm going to do it. I like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. I enjoy this, I get pleasure from this, so I'm going to keep living this way, whether it's healthy for me physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or not. Or we toggle the other way. This is what I'm used to. This is what my routine is. I don't want to make any changes. I don't want to have to change anything about my life. And when you come with that attitude to a place of healing, healing is not going to be readily available to you. You're going to come back again and again, frustrated and disappointed and upset that the healing didn't take hold, take place, and transform you. The reason for this video is partly because I did not do a recombobulation station in the month of January. I don't think I did. And I've really been putting a lot of thought together in how I want to approach 2022, even though I'm in 2022, so the approach piece is a bit of a moot point in month 2. right? And halfway through month 2. But I realized that one of the ways I want to be in 2022 is I want to be sharing more content with you. I want to be sharing my viewpoint with you. And this is one of the ways I'm going to do it. So I'm going to just keep posting these videos when something crosses my mind. The reason the idea of healing crossed my mind today is because I've been teaching a lot of Reiki classes recently, and I've been getting a lot of clients coming in for healings, different types of healings, and a lot of clients have been coming in more so for spiritual healing than anything else, and a lot of them are really confused about how they're feeling and what's going on in their life and why these things may be happening. If you're one of those people that you feel like there's an energy around you, a miasma around you, something's not right around you and you can't figure out what it is, we, meaning you, need to start looking at how are you living your life. If you're an asthmatic and you live in a house full of smokers and you don't know why your asthma is not well controlled, step 1, your environment. You live in a house full of smokers. Are they smoking in the house? There's a lot of logical things that we overlook because it's just the way that we live. We've been living with these smokers our whole entire life. We've only been an asthmatic for the last 10 years. So how could this still be a problem? Why am I not getting healing? I have my inhaler and I have my this and I have my that, and I'm practicing mindfulness and everything else. But the reality is you're still living in a house full of smokers, and they're sitting around the kitchen table smoking and, doing things that people who smoke a lot do. I was married to smokers. I was a smoker. My son was a smoker. And I quit smoking. Here, let me date myself. I quit smoking when cigarettes went up to $1.50 a pack. I almost had a heart attack. A figurative one, of course. But when cigarettes went up to $1.50 a pack, they had made a huge leap in price that I was not willing to pay. And I thought to myself, this is foolishness. Why am I doing this? And I quit. Quit cold turkey. I'm sure people were pretty miserable about it. But I went from being a 1 pack a day smoker down to almost nothing, smoking a cigarette a week, etc., etc. When I was a smoker, when I had my first office job, we could smoke at our desks. Can you even imagine that today? We could sit and smoke at our desk. I started a job, and one of the welcome gifts that I received from my coworkers was an ashtray, so I could smoke at my desk. Indeed. And so nowadays, you can't get away from it. But when I bought a new car and I was a smoker, I didn't want to smoke in the car. So I tried my best not to smoke in the car. Ultimately, I was that person that would smoke in the car with the window rolled down, all the way down in sub-zero temperatures. I would still be smoking, but blowing it out the window, and I always had the air freshener and everything else. It doesn't negate the fact that you're taking this stuff into your lungs. This isn't a lecture about smoking, though. This is really just a lecture about healing. And is it really a lecture? I don't know. Don't think so. I think it's just me talking to you about what healing is and how you must be a participant in order to receive and fully receive the healing. If you don't participate, if you don't do the work, the healing is going to be very elusive and you're going to be very disappointed and still continue to suffer with the same issue. I usually start coughing, so I tried to have a beverage nearby to prevent that. And it's iced tea. I don't think that was the wisest choice of beverage. It's tasty, but it's not preventing me from feeling like I got a cough. I know I deviate a lot when I record these videos, and I'm sure a lot of you are sitting back there kind of chuckling at me, and I chuckle at myself when I go back and look at the videos, and don't bother to edit out my little buts and ums and ums and and laughs and my silly facial expressions or any of that stuff, because this is me. And I can only be myself. I've said it my entire life. Can't be anybody else. It's way too complicated. You know, I have enough on my plate to just be myself. So you'll always get just this candid, kind of silly, sometimes serious. I like to think I'm intelligent, and I am definitely pretty well read person who lives in hope, lives in love, believes that we all have a higher purpose to serve, and that our physical existence is just one part that we need to play in our lifetime. So I hope that you will take some time out for yourself. Consider where you're suffering. Are you suffering emotionally? Are you suffering physically? Are you suffering mentally? Are you suffering spiritually? And really look at what's the root cause of it. Because a true healing takes place on all levels: the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. Without all of those levels, we can't be fully healed. If we are suffering with a physical affliction, there may also be an emotional cause. When your body breaks out in a rash, the rash is a reaction to something. It is your body trying to detoxify itself from whatever it's reacting to. So sometimes you might eat something that you're allergic to and break out in a rash, and other times you might hear something that doesn't sit well with you and you break out in hives, and hives, it's a rash. Other times you might be stressed out and you break out in a rash that's psoriasis. It's stress induced. A lot of times our emotional stress, our physical stress can create other physical ailments within the body. And there isn't any one thing that is completely segregated from all our aspects of existence. It's something really important to keep in mind. Medical doctors are great. They study for so long to get where they are. I genuinely feel that medical doctors want to help their patients to be better, to be well. They're not pill pushers, as a lot of people will say. Oh, the doctors are just pill pushers. They work for the pharmaceuticals, big pharma. I don't believe that is the case for the majority of doctors. I believe that people go into the medical field because they genuinely want to help heal those people in need. And I am grateful for all their hard work and dedication through education, and all their hard work and dedication through seeing patients and helping people to cope as best as they can, as best as they're willing to allow themselves to. But I'm also grateful for the Catholic priests and the ministers and the nuns and the monks and the Buddhists and the shamans and the healers, the medicine people, the Reiki practitioners, the acupuncturists, the feng shui practitioners, astrologists. I'm grateful that there are so many diverse ways that we can find healing for ourselves. I'm grateful that there's so much information available. Sometimes too much information, if you ask me. I feel like you go down this rabbit hole of research, and then the next thing you know, you're someplace completely different than when you started, and you might be looking at something completely unrelated to what you're experiencing. But because there's so much information that takes you from this to this to this to this, it's really hard to stay on track. So when I get physically ill, I never ever look up my symptoms on WebMD. That's like a hypochondriac's nightmare. But I will write those symptoms down in my notebook, in my date book, and I'll check in with myself. Did I eat something different? Did I do something different? Did I sleep in a different position? Did I have an argument? Do I feel stressed out? And if I can't find a way to soothe those symptoms through ginger ale and saltines, taking a walk in the sunshine, meditating, doing some yoga, getting a massage, using my aromatherapy or tuning forks or sound healing, if I can't find a way on my own to come to a healing or an easing of those symptoms, of course I'm going to get on the phone and call the doctor and go see her. And I have to say, I am a person, here I am, I'm older, I'm flabby, I'm out of shape, I'm a diabetic, right? We all know that's my long-winded story. And instead of seeing the doctor every month, every other month, I have my one physical every year. I have my mammogram every year. I have endocrinology appointments 2 to 4 times a year. And I have the eye doctor appointment once a year, and then obviously the dentist. And that's it. I don't go. When I first became diagnosed as a diabetic, I was going to the doctor every month. I went to the doctor every month for years, because I did not know what I should do for myself. And I felt like this is my only option. It's a physical disease. My only option is to take those pills, take that shot, test my blood sugar. And then I realized, with all the training that I have in holistic healing, I have a plethora of resources and research available to me to help give me the guidance that I need to help make less frequent doctor visits necessary, right? And to be able to take care of myself in the best way possible. So that's my story. This is something that's so important for us today. We're under so much pressure from different political climates, from different economic climates, from environmental climates, just from every possible climate that there is, right? Everything that's going on in the world today with social media, with the news, there's so much doom and gloom. And I have to say one more thing before I end. Talk to people. Talk to people. If you're hurting, if somebody says something that bothers you, or you feel upset, or you feel scared, talk to somebody. Talk to your friend. Talk to your husband. Talk to your wife. Talk to your lover. Talk to your kids. I had a great conversation with my son today, and that's what made me want to end on this note. And we were talking about changes in the law. We were talking about doomsday preppers. We were talking about things that have happened over time, and a lot of it stemmed from me talking to him about a book that I've been listening to, and it's the third time I've listened to this book, and it's so powerful to me. And as I was talking to him, and he started talking about these new laws that are attempting to be passed and things like that, we joked around a little bit about the fact that we all want privacy, and there's no true privacy unless you're off the grid, completely off the grid, which I am not, obviously, because I'm sitting here talking to you. And we got off the phone. I went back to my regular work day, etc. And later on in the day, he sent me just such a beautiful text that he didn't mean to be all doom and gloom, and he didn't want me to be scared, that there was just so much information out there, and he feels it's important to be aware of what's going on, even though as one person I can't prevent these things from going on. There are groups of people that are trying to make the world a better place, and it's just important to be aware of what's happening. And then he finished by telling me that he loves me and he wants me to feel safe. And I just thought that was so beautiful, that my adult child, he's 30, would take the time out and have that mindset of giving me a little healing with that text message. And it's such a beautiful thing, and it just reminded me that talking and expressing yourself in a calm and mindful way and being open to conversations itself can be such a healing thing. So I hope that you will take time every day to find some kind of healing, to be open to some kind of healing, to be aware that there is healing and wellness available to you always, if you are open, willing, and ready to accept it and follow that path. And until next time, be well.